Before the raid, we were such a happy family. I had only just got married. There's so much peace in the house beforehand, and all of that had been totally destroyed, so it was like coming back to a shattered home.
Yes, that was, a very traumatic experience.
The nightmare, the trauma, it's never ending. And I could be here for days explaining all the difficulties, especially what the women went through.
It was probably in the morning at about 3:30ish. Loud bangs, screaming, shouting, because I could hear footsteps and screaming coming upwards to the stairs, to the extent that I thought that I would be murdered in a minute. I just quickly locked the door because I thought, I might get killed or something. So I locked the door and I was pushing it hard with my hands. Instantly I saw these two men barge into my room, very tall, big built. They were masked. They broke open my door in about 2-3 minutes. When I just didn't have any force left in myself, I let go.
And around 4 in the morning, about 40 to 50 officers literally raided the room.
I felt extremely uncomfortable because obviously I was in my nightwear. I wasn't dressed decently. If they would have told me we were the police, I would have let go of the door a long time ago.
I thought I'd actually lost my mother because she couldn't breathe properly. I kept asking the officer for some water, but he wouldn't allow us to move. He says that's not our problem.
At the time, like I said, I thought I was dreaming. I just looked at them and I just fell asleep again. And a split second later, I felt a full impact of a police boot on the side of my head, which pulled me out of my deep sleep.
After this disgusting experience, this whole raid that you've just done to us, you call us Muslims and terrorists. I said, what you have committed just now, I said, the way you have barged into our home, that is called terrorism. He kind of pushed me towards the bed and I sat down. My father was handcuffed and he left the house smiling at my younger sister, who was just 5 years old at the time. And when I saw his face, it was just completely, blank. And he asked me, are you okay? I said, yeah. And the police guy, he told me to shut up.
They escorted me out of the building near the police vehicle, and then he gave me a death threat that if you F about, we'll make sure you don't get to Manchester. And that's when it hit me that this is actually real. And yeah, that's when the nightmare really started. We were raided because under terrorism law, you've not said that you've not told us that.
All I could hear was screaming, my kids screaming, my brothers. They dragged my father. I could see he hurt his knuckles. All he asked was for a warrant for them, to come barging into our house. And they dragged my father. My kids were screaming, but it just didn't make a difference to them. We kept asking them for a warrant, but they wouldn't give us the warrant.
They were forcing us to go to a family friend's house, and my mother-in-law told them that it's so late in the night, and she doesn't want to trouble anyone. This was, the way they manipulate your mind and the way they lie to you. And I've never heard anything or seen anything like this in my life. As we were going up into the lift to our hotel room, one of them even had the cheek to say that, oh, you're lucky you've got the top floor in the hotel. Forget the top floor. They've just destroyed our family. The peace in our lives has just been destroyed. The family has been ripped apart. And they had the cheek to say something like that and leave us without any money or clothes as such. We were there for about 7 days until they were searching the house for stuff, whatever they had to take.
We heard nothing from him until September. The first communication was a phone call, and that was 3 months later. Yeah.
I was really weak because even if somebody was pushing a wheelie bin outside
my heart would really tremble and think, is that another raid? It's just brought us down totally. We're just starting to rebuild our lives again, but it's had a huge effect on us, yeah.
The ceiling collapsed and they didn't allow us to, in my mum's bedroom, they didn't allow us to fix it because it's not a business use. So we've been like this and it's affected mum's health.
You know, we're not even allowed to spend a penny on towards building work unless it's approved by the courts.
It affected the eldest son. He was about 3.5. He actually saw everything, and right up till this day it's affected him emotionally. He actually still wets himself. He has problems going to the toilet. Right up till this day, whenever he used to see a police officer, he would actually wet himself on the spot.
And there's other 2 properties which they want to seize in order to cover the costs of my father's defence.
My father just stopped working. He just didn't want to leave the house. And right until this day, no one's really worked. There's trust issue with people as well.
The door was broken, the house was a mess, and it wasn't as we had left it. They had drilled also like holes in the house.
Obviously, my brother had the intention of setting up a family business. All the money, anything that went into it was actually confiscated, taken off him, and it's not been given back till this day.
Obviously, everyone out there would be thinking that we're the family of terrorists, so it was difficult with neighbours as well.
My brothers, they've just kind of kept themselves away from everyone. We don't have that same link, that same communication we used to have amongst ourselves. Everyone just wants to be on their own, do their own thing.
It's affected my little sister so much. In school she would speak about the raid and how horrible it was.
I mean, it's just mental torture all the way. That, you know, you only need to know what we want you to know. When it comes to phone calls, they didn't allow me to call home till the 2nd, 3rd day, just delaying it constantly. I'm just trying to literally cut you off from the outside world.
Even families and family friends who we had known for so many years, they've turned their backs on us and not spoken to us till this day, even though it's like 3 years on. So it's just been a total nightmare, to be honest. To
an extent, we were fortunate enough that we did have a few people around us that were, looking out for us. But overall, this is the duty of the authorities to make sure, no one's left vulnerable in any way, shape or form. But they obviously proved the opposite.
When you receive help when it's most unexpected, you appreciate it so much more. And hugs have done that all the way.
We're all brothers and sisters in Islam, and it's our duty to help one another.
In times of difficulty, especially in those days straight after the raid, even if somebody drops a text saying how are you, it means the world to you. And for these people to come forward and to actually help in so many ways, it's really, really priceless.
Nearly every week they'd arrange transport, they'd pay for my college courses, trips, days out with the kids, and just any sort of financial help I've needed, they've always been there.
There were so many people who did back off, but at the same time there's people who came who we had never met before, but they came forward offering us like money, help, support, especially hugs. The organisation came and supported us from day 1 up until now. They've been so supportive, which we can't thank them enough for.
Today it's us and other brothers and sisters. Tomorrow it can be you. Why wait till they've come to your house and then start getting active?
I would say that it's wrong of us not to join hugs, because especially as Muslims, this is a duty of every Muslim. This is a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Obviously, when we were arrested, then hugs were in contact with all the women in the family, and they gave them literally all the support that they needed.
Just to encourage everyone to take part in the prisoner campaigns, to become more active, to take constructive, action. And like I said, today it's us, tomorrow it could be you or anyone else.